If you're evaluating eXp Realty teams and you don't understand the difference between a sponsor team and an organized production team, you might make a structural decision based on incomplete information. Most agents hear the word team at eXp and assume it means one thing. It doesn't. eXp Realty has two entirely different team concepts, and confusing them changes how your commission flows, how your cap works, and how your long-term business is built. Hang on to the end where I'll walk you through the 5 questions you should ask before joining any eXp Realty team. Most agents ask 0 of them. I'm Doug Smart, co-founder of Smart Agent Alliance and top 1% sponsor team leader at eXp Realty. We've built a structured agent portal with done-for-you marketing systems, advanced social and AI training, and organized tools so agents can focus on production instead of figuring everything out alone. That's the lens I'm using as we break down how eXp Realty teams actually work. Organized production team change. eXp Realty updated its organized production team structure in 2026. They renamed categories, adjusted minimum split requirements, and formalized how organized teams operate across the brokerage. The problem is that many agents evaluating eXp Realty teams don't understand the foundational distinction between the two types of teams that exist at the brokerage. And the confusion leads to misalignment expectations around compensation, support, and daily operations. So let me clarify this before anything else. Sponsor team versus organized team. When someone says eXp Realty team, they could be referring to one of the two completely different things. The first is sponsor team. At eXp, sponsorship is tied to an individual agent. When you join the brokerage, you name one person as your sponsor. Some sponsors collaborate with other sponsors. They share systems, meetings, and training resources. They also may call themselves a sponsor team. eXp Realty does not formally recognize or regulate these groups as teams. Sponsor teams are formal. Any support they provide is optional, varies by sponsor, and operates independently from what the brokerage requires. The second team is an eXp organized production team. This is a formal business structure within eXp Realty. It includes a team leader and one or more licensed team members, operating under a written team agreement. That agreement defines roles, compensation, responsibilities, and how the team operates day to day. eXp does not manage the internal agreements between team members and leaders. This is entirely up to the team. Here's the part most agents miss. You can participate in both a sponsor team and an organized team at the same time. They do not overlap. They do not replace each other, and they do not control the same money. Sponsorship is about revenue share alignment and optimal support. Organized teams control your production model, your splits, your workflows, your daily structure. If you confuse those layers, you will miscalculate your income before you ever close your first deal. That distinction has to be clear before we talk about commission. Organized teams have structure options. eXp allows organized teams to operate under several different structural options. Those options affect how company dollar caps are applied at the team level, but they do not change the order of how commission flows. If you want a full breakdown of the 2026 team structures, thresholds, and cap elections, watch our updated policy video. In this video, we are focused only on how the money actually moves. Before we go into organized team numbers, pause here. There are two financial systems operating at the same time. Your team agreement determines how the gross commission is divided inside the team. The brokerage model determines how company dollar and transaction fees apply to each agent individually. If you collapse those into one system in your head, your projections will be wrong. At the beginning of this video, I told you I would give you 5 questions you should ask before joining any eXp Realty team. Question 1. Am I joining a sponsor team or organized team or both? These are not the same thing. A sponsor team relates to revenue share alignment and optional support. An organized team is a formal production structure with a written agreement and internal splits. If you don't know which structure you're entering, you cannot evaluate the value correctly. You may think you're joining one type of support while actually committing to something very different. Question 2. If I'm joining both a sponsor team and an organized production team, what support do I retain if I later leave the organized team? These are two separate layers, but many agents blur them together. Some team leaders require you to name them as your sponsor when you join their production team. If you later leave the organized team, the infrastructure, systems, and support you relied on may disappear as well. You need clarity on what continues and what does not before you commit. Question 3. Where am I relative to my cap? Your internal team split is only the first layer. If you're uncapped, the brokerage company dollar applies to your portion. If you're capped, that layer looks different. Two agents on the same team can close the same transaction and net different amounts, simply because of where they stand relative to the cap. You need to understand your position before projecting your take home. Question 4. Who controls lead flow and how does that affect my split and autonomy? Many organized teams centralize lead generation. That often justifies a higher internal split to the team leader. If most of your business is coming from the team, your independence is reduced. You should understand whether you're building your own pipeline or operating inside someone else's system. Question 5. If I want to leave the organized production team that I joined, what is the process for doing that? And what happens to my cap, progression, and my pipeline? Organized teams write their own internal agreements. That means exit rules are not standardized across the brokerage. Some teams allow immediate departure, some require notice periods, some define how pending transactions are handled. Your cap progression, however, follows you individually. It is tied to you, not the team. If you leave an organized team, your cap status does not reset. Your pipeline is different. Leads generated through team systems may remain with the team depending on the written agreement. This is why understanding the exit process before you join matters more than trying to negotiate it after. Most agents never ask these questions, and that's why they're surprised by their income instead of planning it. For a deeper look at how Smart Agent Alliance sponsorship fits into the eXp brokerage model, watch the full breakdown link below. It separates exactly what comes from the brokerage and what comes from the sponsor layer. Do you have questions about your specific situation? Email us directly. We're happy to help. To see how team structure plays out in real numbers, watch this next. We break down what agents actually net after splits and caps. And for the bigger picture behind the brokerage model itself, start here. I will make everything you just learned click. Together, those give you structural clarity most agents never get. We publish breakdowns like this regularly. Subscribe if that's useful to you. I'll see you in the next one.